Here we are in a good area, and the rut is in full swing. This elk was running between two herds, and he happened to run right by me twice. He's a good bull, not a great bull. I think I get a good view of him through the trees here. And a theme you're going to see in these clips is the smaller bulls get a lot of camera time. The bigger bulls I'm less likely to get footage of because I'm trying to kill them. And it's only when I know that they're not a shooter, often when they're walking away or whatever, that I start recording and pull out my phone. Random bobcat you just saw. This is me flexing because of Billy. You know who you are, Billy. You're going to get some shout outs in this video. This is a good bull. I think we're going to see him clearly in a second here. Yep. I like these kind of bedding areas. They suck to walk through because of the amount of deadfall, and they're loud. But if you go through them making noise and you cow call a little bit, the elk that are bedded in there will usually come check you out before you get to them, if you have the wind in your favor. This is down in the transitional country, a little bit lower, and I don't think we get a good view of this elk, but he is the largest bull I've ever passed on. I'm positive. He would probably go 335, 340, and he has very long points, perfect genetics. He's clearly young, and he's going to be a Boone and Crockett type of a bull, I believe. So I let him live, and his frame is just not that big yet. His face is very dark. He just looked like a baby with a monster rack that's just on its way. I think we get a better look at it as he's walking away toward the end here. He was calling to a cow that was off to my right, and I went and intercepted him. I don't think I blew a call this evening. They were being vocal enough, and I just kind of slipped in. You can see this country is very easy to walk in. Where I am here is back in a bedding area. This country is not easy to walk in. He came in close. I had called this bull in before. I knew it would work. That's why I videoed this setup, and I also knew that he wasn't one I was going to shoot. Otherwise, he's way too big of a bull for me to be this casual with, but you can get a good look at him there. He's cool. He's probably pushing 330, maybe 325, and had a death wish. He was not hard to call in. Any sequence I did midday, he would come in day after day. This one was okay. This is in the dark timber up a little in my usual spot, and he just came in kind of on a rope, and I kept getting good footage, and he kept coming closer and closer. They kind of get annoyed. They get annoyed when you call them while they're walking. So he starts to walk, and I'll do a little cow call. They just keep coming closer. I don't like to ever call when they're standing in one spot looking, because they'll spot you. And again, shameless flex. And another call out to my boy. This is all Billy's fault, because he told a few people that the reason I never get anything is because I'm not actually seeing elk. I don't remember this bull. Oh, no, I do. He's in the bottom of a canyon. There's meadows through the bottom of every canyon in this area, and he was kind of showing off, bugling very loudly. And what I like to do on those is if they're doing the show off kind of bugles, even when they're with cows, and he has a few cows. He's a young bull, but he has a few cows. I like to slip into 70, 80 yards and blow a really soft cow call, like I'm on my way in because I'm so impressed. Then they get frustrated, like, why aren't you coming all the way in? And they'll come looking for you. Um, Normally, when I'm close to a bull and his cows, I don't cow call because the cows will often leave and take the bull with them because they don't want to share the bull, I guess. But when they're doing their display bugles and they're so wrapped up in their ego, why not? Get in close, use a cow call, yeah, act like you're impressed with him, and they come in on a rope a lot of the time, like this one did. And 9 times out of 10, they are too small.
Hi, Billy.
I chased this whole herd. It was a huge herd. I think there's 20, 25 elk in this herd, and only one bull. And so I had high expectations and high hopes, and I didn't catch up to them till right before dark, right here. But I had a good shot at 20 yards. Unfortunately, he was not a shooter, but I think I followed that herd for, let's see, 2.5 miles maybe, including some jogging to catch up with them at times. And they are in better shape than me. This is back down in the bottom of a canyon that I only went to one time, and there were bulls everywhere, but none big enough for me to go back to that canyon. I think I got 2 or 3 of them on camera, and they're all, under 300. And there weren't many cows in here, just lots of young bachelor bulls kind of showing off for just a handful of cows. I would definitely go back in this area, and I look forward to it. It's actually great because you can drive down halfway into that canyon, and which is great for the walk back up. This is on the walk back up, and I'm actually above my truck now because I think I followed this group 800 vertical feet up through the deadfall as always, but they were really vocal, and I think I kind of did a calling sequence just to, oh yeah.
Sometimes the bull will come back, most of the time, if you go to where he was just calling. And so I'm going to call that bull with just some cow talk. He feels safe, and I bet he comes right back in.
And the sequence did work. And I think I got a kill shot. You coming up here? Yeah, I did. But again, 9 times out of 10, even if they have a good bugle, the herds are run by 280-inch, 3.5 or 4.5-year-olds. This was a cool stock. I actually intercepted this bull. I spotted him from a long ways off, and I thought he was better than he was. Or maybe I just mixed up my elk, but I was able to get a cool view of a kill shot here as he raked this tree. They're so easy to just run in on when they're raking a tree because they can't hear a thing. This was a very vocal herd. Man, they must have had a hot cow. I remember that. And there was not a big bull in there, but maybe 5 or 6 satellites and young 6s back in the low country here. This is some of the most impressive footage of a elk at close range I have, and also the least impressive because he's over water. And as my buddies all know, I don't like hunting over water. I probably wouldn't shoot one over water because it seems kind of unsporting. I don't blame anyone who does. It's just not my thing. This is another bull that's going to be big, and he's kind of have a small frame now, but look at those genetics. I am in my truck in the front seat, and he is dumb and young. Did not care that there was a truck parked right next to his water trough, and he came in, and he'd been coming into this trough, every day. I'd seen him the day before from up above, And look how killable this elk is. Just, you know, here's the secret to being a great hunter. Sit in a Dodge Ram. This bull, you can see I'm a ways away here. I was chasing unsuccessfully. He kept getting further and further. He had a lot of cows, and he's over 300. He's a good bull. But I never got a shot opportunity on him, and I wouldn't have taken it if I had. But I got a good workout, and again, you can see I'm in the low country right now on the east side of the unit. This is the Big 7, which this video will end in. This is a glimpse of him I got when he stopped when I was chasing him. Back up in the high country now. This bull is huge. He is definitely over 350, 360, and gorgeous. This is, you'll probably be able to tell this is very windy, and that's the only reason this video happened. I was walking uphill, it's windy, so this elk did not hear me coming. I happened to look up and see him before he saw me. And I thought, what the heck? Let's call him in. Look at that baby face. He even moves like a toddler, doesn't he? At this point I could probably pull an arrow out of my quiver and jab him with it. Cool antlers though. He's going to be a stud in 2 years. This is 120 yards from where I park my truck and sleep, in my favorite spot. There's always an elk there, and you can usually hear him all night long. It's hard to sleep sometimes. Never been a big one though. This watering hole is about 1/8 of a mile from a road, although it takes a while to get to because it's surrounded in a downfall burn. But they're often in there like this. And I was hopeful that I'd followed this herd, that the big one was in there, because it was a smaller bugle, and it was not the big one, who does have a smaller bugle. This morning was the best hunt maybe I've been on in, I don't know, maybe ever. I think I saw 25 or 30 bulls and 60, 80 elk. They were all over this hill. They were traveling to their bedding area, and here's just a few highlights of different bulls I saw on that same morning. There was one good one in there that I would have shot. He was over 340 in a 6x7, and he was aggressive. He was running back and forth, so there was clearly a hot cow or two on that ridge. I didn't get any footage of him. I know it's sort of story of my life that my coolest encounters I don't get on video because I'm holding my release and not my phone. This is all still that same ridge, same morning. You could have had a hoochie mama in there and you would have killed 4 or 5 elk. I can't remember how many kill shots I could have had, but it was a lot, and all you had to do was keep the wind in your favor. And even then, they were so ready, and there were so many elk that if the wind wasn't perfectly in your favor, they're all nose blown from the amount of estrus and the size of the herd. So you can actually kind of go in without, if you don't call, like I'm not calling this day at all, almost. Well, when you see them coming in at close range, I probably want to call, but there's no need to call. You just walk right into the herd, and they're nose blown. They're not going to smell you. They're not looking at you. They're not thinking. They're just rutting. think this is the weird antlered bull. Saw him a few times. Yep. Kind of deformed. Oh yeah, I saw this. This dude was ugly, and always on my exit out of the area, he beds always between me and the truck. So every day I'd encounter him. He has a cool bugle, and always disappointed me. This is just cool footage. I don't think I called here. I think I probably just walked up on this bull because he was clearly just raking away. Here's another 7-point that I thought was the big 7. He's a shooter, but I never had a shot. He was too far away. And again, this is a watering hole that's in the middle of, you can't miss it on Google Earth, put it that way. And if he'd come in from a slightly different angle, I could have had a shot on him. And I think, yeah, as I recall, I would have shot him. Again, same spot, right next to my truck, 100 yards away. Never a big bull, though. Always one scoring 260 that has 4 cows with him, that isn't going to keep the cows. Man, they are drawn to the feed in this meadow. Oh, showing off my insecurity. Look at me. This is the meadow that the big bull hangs out in and feeds in. He was moving his harem there almost every night, and that's a bull that was with him. Oh, this is the footage that kind of made me sick. When I took this, I had no idea how big this bull was. He is so much bigger than I thought, and when I reviewed the footage, I saw it. I think the issue is my camera's down around my chest. I'm holding it in my hands, and my eyes can't see him. I had no idea how good he was. I don't think I pursued him that hard. I was just on his back trail, as you can see here, and he doubled back. I probably called to see how far ahead of me he was, and he came in, and I wasn't ready. And it sucks because he was definitely over 335, 340. And at the time, I didn't know it. I don't remember the story behind this footage or what happened there. Back in the low country. Frustrating year when a lot of the elk were this size. It's just not quite what I was looking for. And it was a good moisture year. But it just made you think, I want to go back next year when these bulls are all a year older. I love this kind of terrain, high desert, rolling hills. If you're in shape, it's so fun to chase them. If you're not in shape, it's fun to look at them and then allow the self-hatred to set in for not being in better shape. So this is an area I like to be in later in the hunt when I'm really acclimated and I can just dog these elk and catch up to them from behind. I like to come into herds from behind because the bull tends to follow the cows like he's doing here, and they tend to walk into the wind. So you typically have the wind in your favor if you're behind the herd. You just have to be in shape to do it, and especially when there's elevation gain and loss like where these elk are. I'm better at doing that later in the season if it's up at 8 and 10,000 feet. This is the meadow that the big one was supposed to come into. I waited for this elk. I thought it was the big one. It is not. But I will leave you with the only footage I have of the good one. Here it is. Let's test your pause game. He is huge. He's symmetrical. He's perfect.